the numbers are just extremely very high, and we are very concerned that the numbers, although they have been going down, but they remain extremely high.
And, you know, if the legal age to get married in this country is 18, why do we continue to see so many child marriages in the country?
Yes, in terms of the Children's Act, the age at which a child can be wed is 18. There's just a need for realignment with the Marriages Act. Currently, the Department of Home Affairs have started the process of changing the Marriages Act. There is a new bill for public comments right now, and after that, it will go to Parliament. If Parliament passes it, then President Ramaphosa will enact it into an act. So we hope that the new act raises the age of marriage into 18.
And perhaps, Khethani, if you could just give us a bit more information. I don't know if you are able to do so when it comes to the 207 child marriages we are seeing recorded in 2021. You know, perhaps, you know, if you can just give us a bit of an insight and tell us, you know, were these forced marriages? You know, do these children give their consent in these marriages? What is the trend you are picking up when you're seeing, you know, how children are married off at such a young age?
Yeah, Emily, the most concerning part is, of course, the figures that you are quoting are figures that we have on the National Marriages Register as civil marriages or customary marriages. What is even further concerning is that cases such as Uktwala are not recorded, and we anticipate that the figure could actually be higher. And so the figures that you actually see are just representing a slight underreporting.
Yes, and I was about to actually ask you that as my next question. You know, do we have undetected child marriages in this country? And what does that look like, especially when you look at many cultural practices like you've mentioned as Uktwala?
Yeah, in most cases, the sad aspect of this is that Uktwala happens and early child marriages happens in communities where there is high levels of poverty, and parents of a girl child find it's more appealing that they can enter into early lobola negotiations and therefore benefit. And in hindsight, that begins to affect the right of that girl child.
One can also ask, Khethani, you know, what needs to be done so that we can also pick up on these cases where young girls are married off without their consent. And of course, these are some of the statistics you are unable, you know, to record.
Yeah, what actually needs to be done is to raise awareness on this harmful practice. Many people take it as culture. Many people take it as something that is acceptable. What we fail to understand is that while it was working many years ago, times have changed, and the role of women in our society has also changed. So we cannot afford to take children out of school, and because that in the later aspect of their lives, they won't be able to compete fairly in the economic environment. So awareness is one of the key things that we actually need to be focusing on.
And Khethani, is Uktwala the only cultural practice you are seeing here that is also undetected, or do you find that there are other cultural practices from other cultures, you know, which contribute to child marriages in this country?
Yes, we have also seen a newer phenomenon for South Africa, but has been existing in other countries for a very long time, called female genital mutilation. And with this procedure, it's a harmful practice because it is a forced procedure on a girl child that ends up affecting later their ability to have proper reproductive health and rights.
And, you know, when it comes to which areas seem to be seeing an increase in child marriages, are you able to tell us, you know, which provinces seem to detect higher numbers than others?
Yes, in the main, the figures that you quoted earlier, these are the children that lives in mainly three provinces, the province of Limpopo, the province of KZN, as well as the province of the Eastern Cape. And in those provinces, the areas that are mostly rural in nature, those are the ones that we still have the higher number of people reporting to have had early child marriages.
And, when it comes to what are the main contributors to leading to child marriages, earlier on you had picked up saying that, poverty also plays a role. Why do you find that some families see this as the only option, to sort of save people out of poverty or to get them out of poverty?
On their part, I think it's a misconception that if they accept the lobola negotiations and whatever amount is paid by the groom, that it will sustain the family. But you find that that amount of money is available just only for a few months, and the family then regresses back to the original state. In other cases, there is an issue of status. Maybe if the person who's requesting to negotiate with a child for marriage holds a position in the society that is taken in a positive regard by parents. But yeah, it's just that they fail to see the ramifications of their actions, and that's what I think we need to focus on, because that is in the long run, and it has more lasting effect on that particular person.
Do you ever find unique cases where, these children have consented to, these marriages and they understand what they're getting themselves into?
In most cases, children do not understand, but they may pass the consent out of maybe understanding the situation at home, at times out of just this idea that I'm getting an opportunity to get married, but they do not actually get to realize until they are in that particular marriage the ramifications of their earlier decisions, such as at times, because the statistics you showed earlier on, children get married as young as 13, and physiologically they are not developed enough to carry, for example, a pregnancy to full term.
Yeah.
And that raises the risk in those pregnancies. So once they begin to go through these things, then regret begins, and sometimes they struggle to cope. So one needs to therefore actually get into the explanation,
Yeah.
so that it's more than just an idea that they have in their mind.